Hey everybody, Joe here, and I'm going to be sharing with you 1 Corinthians chapter 16 in our Growing in Grace series. Of course, this is the last chapter of the book of 1 Corinthians. These are Paul's last thoughts in his letter to the Corinthian church. And we all know the city of Corinth, very worldly, very pantheistic, many gods, many religious acts that weren't in line with the teachings of Jesus. So Paul had his work cut out for him. So he's writing this letter, and these are his last thoughts. And sometimes, you'll write a letter, you'll talk to somebody, and if you really want to emphasize a point, you'll say, one more thing. Here's the last things I want you to hear. Very important. This is essentially what Paul's doing. He's saying here in chapter 16, verse 13, a few things just to get across so they catch it and understand the value of what he's saying right here. He says, be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, be strong, and do everything with love. It's kind of like what a commander would tell his troops, right? Of course, not many commanders would tell their troops to do everything with love, but this is important. Love sets the context of the command. To do everything in love is more important than just the individual command itself. So let's check this out and see what it says. Be on guard means to be watchful and awake. This is the same word that Jesus used when he said to be watchful for his coming. Means to be awake, means to be vigilant, to be expectant. Paul says to stand firm, which this is where he's holding on to the sound doctrine. Like we said, the Corinthian church was immersed in so many other things that weren't in line with the teachings of Jesus. And Paul is saying, stand firm. Not only just stand firm, but persevere in your convictions. Hold tight to them. Then he tells them to be courageous, which in some translations it says act like mature men, which I find is interesting because, maturity, you can be a young person and be mature. You can be an old person and be immature. But I believe what it's saying is, men, be who God intended you to be. And this isn't misogynistic. This is Paul writing to a culture that the writer would be a man, the recipient would be a man, the reader would be a man, the listeners would be men. So he's saying, men, man up, be mature men, have courage. And then be strong, which I like this. It's not just get strong and that's fine. It's saying continue to be strong, grow stronger, build up a power that prevails against opposition. Then finally he says, do everything with love, motivated and inspired by agape, which, like we said, that's the context of everything that Paul wants his readers to do. So be on guard with love. Stand firm in the faith in love. Be courageous and be strong in love, in that agape love that we as Christians love so much. It's the love of Jesus. It's a love that prefers others, right? So once again, this is Paul's final words to the church in Corinth in his first letter. Question I have for you is, how are you measuring up? If Paul was to be speaking to you directly, face to face, and he said, how are you doing with these commands? What would you have to say? Certainly the Holy Spirit is asking us that today, as we have a responsibility with what we read, with what we hear. So I want to ask you, are you on guard? Are you standing firm in the faith? Are you being courageous men? Are you acting as mature men? Are you strong and getting stronger? And lastly, are you doing everything in love? All right, that's it. God bless you. Have a great day.